Good morning. There's a chilly breeze in the air, hence my hood, but it's lovely and sunny. But it's just that breeze when it catches your face. Woo, it's gold. So yeah, we're out on the morning's wander. Come on, Bear. And heading for our usual spot. I don't know if I'm going to put this into the video or not, but I've been contemplating about my shadow side of self, the vulnerable parts of me, the subconscious self, and how it's ran the show for considerable length of time until I started being more responsible for what I'm thinking and raising my self-awareness. And I was looking at the people. I've done it for a few days now. People have come into my mind who have really touched my heart in some way with their genuine, heartfelt kindness and love. And obviously I can't mention everyone, but it started when I was listening to Ram Dass, and he was talking about having the stroke, and the cleaner in the room was the only person that treated him like another person instead of a person who's had a stroke, you know. And it reminded me of Angelina, who was more than my cleaner. She was an amazing woman who became my friend, still is, over the years. She was there for me when no one else was, when I was struggling to walk and function after I'd nearly lost my leg and nearly died, and I had to learn to walk again and function. And she used to pick up Cheyenne, my daughter, on the way to school, and she used to walk her to school. And I remember the first day I could walk to Park Way, and I met them at the park on the way home from school, and it was just beautiful. Now, Angelina didn't look at me like a woman who was a scruffy woman who couldn't do cleaning. Angelina looked at me like, here you are, here I am, and I'm just going to play doing my cleaning thing, and you're just going to be you, and we're just going to share space. And she was an absolute godsend. She helped me realise that I'm still human. She touched my life and was there for me in ways that humans hadn't really done before. And then it led me to remembering how we went to Slimming World together, and Bev, another huge part of my life, and reason why I've been able to maintain my weight and my health for 12 years now is because Bev took me as, not as the weirdo, as people looked at me. I always dress a bit differently, and I'm not very good at standing and gossiping. It's never been my forte, so I was always on my own in the school playground, and she seen beyond what other people saw, and she saw me as I am, and met me as another soul. She invited me to help her out at the Slimming World things, and I did. I used to enjoy going a bit early and having a natter and putting chairs out and stuff. And I lost, all in all, I lost about 10 stone thanks to learning how to change how I think regards food. and changed my lifestyle. And I walked Hadrian's Wall, and that was when I nearly lost my leg due to tracking cellulitis after an infected blister. And it was amazing parts of my life back then. A few years before that, I had a gym instructor, and her name was Claire, and I was reflecting on Claire this morning, and I remember how she took me as I was, and she didn't see me having a pity party, you know. She didn't see me as in my victim consciousness, which is where I saw me. She looked past all that, and she just saw me as true potential, and she had a way of doing things and saying things. And although I was scared to death of really functioning with other people, I felt at ease with Claire, even though I secretly fancied her. And this enabled me to differentiate between the, let go of the fact that I fancied her and just be there and try and improve myself, not for anyone else, but just for me, and listen to her words and really, excuse me, and really try to apply what she was teaching me. And it really helped considerably. And I remember running, and I don't run very often, if at all. Running is not my thing, never has been. Never been one for sports or PE. Always want to try and avoid it wherever possible. And I used to just get pure pleasure from going to exercise and keep exercising, and that supported when I went, the Slimming World journey as well, because at first I just started by walking, and then Claire taught me about muscles and all sorts of things about how we share things over different parts of our body. And one day Claire finished and went off doing her thing, and I got a guy called Dave, who again didn't see it, but I got Dave after the stroke, and Dave was the one who remembered me from when I had lost all the weight and got myself to a really amazing fitness and walked Hadrian's Wall in 6 days and all that lot. And he was there for me to help me on my road to recovery, once with incredible patience. But he didn't quite, as much as he was an amazing guy and he helped me feel human again, he didn't have the same, because he'd known me before, he had that attachment, I guess. So he kind of saw my pity party and said, well, it's totally understandable you're having one, and come on, this will make you feel better. You can do it, you can do it again. So yeah, it's amazing how when people meet you as you truly are and see past your pity party, it's amazing how you can really change, how you can really grow and develop into something much more beautiful than you ever thought possible. Really, really happy. We finally have the bathtub into the ground, so it's ready and set up. When we sort the shower out, we'll have a good shower base, a bath for very enthusiastic people who want to collect enough water to get in it. But yeah, we now have the very next step of the shower done, which is absolutely fantastic. So thank you to Too Short for coming today. Coming on down, we'll pass our little duckies. Alright, you guys, yeah? Don't be lawnmowering this, it's only just growing back. Huh? Right, Limpy Duck. And then the next big job of today was moving all this stone. Those that remember at the start, they came and done a delivery, and he was so grumpy that he was just happy to dump it and run away. So, well, after he got paid, of course, and I wasn't going to try and say anything else. I was just happy that he got here and brought the stones. So finally, the ground now has been revealed underneath where the stones were, and in time, hopefully this will get grassed up and repair itself. But that's not the only two jobs of today, because these stones moved, didn't they, duckies? Eh? That's right, you do there for me. Make sure you keep the grass nice and low, nothing too high. There's a good duckies. Eh? So here, as you can see, we have the stones at a different height now, because the stones have been brought over from over there. We have a much more comfortable seating area. While Too Short was incredibly busy outside, I was racking my brains inside because I was trying to sort out the website. Now, it's only taken me since January, but I finally did it today, and it's now up with pages that work and email contact forms where you can send messages, and that's a massive relief after the old website went down and all the stuff was lost, or it just became a memory. It was interesting trying to get things together and get things up and running again. So to be able to now have my website up and running for the peace of eye, I'm just so pleased. I have now attained my peace again, because that's been bugging me, not knowing how to do it, and it's been a slow process trying to work it out and work out a new way of doing the website, because it's through WordPress and Bluehost and Elementor. So yes, it's all done. I'm incredibly grateful. So yes, I'm now gonna just relax for 5 or 10 minutes before it's time to go and sort out food time for the farm. So it's our evening walk. I've had a very busy day, or eventful one. It's been a really good day in many respects. My daughter's been caught trying to overdose. And the reason why I choose to share this is because people have got to learn to talk. And not just learn to talk, they've got to learn to listen to those trying to talk. Our children, they're actually killing themselves. And this is because of the amount of grief that our children are carrying. We carried our grief too. They've got our grief as well, and they're carrying it. Now, people are almost conditioned now to not talk about things. People are too scared to talk. People don't want to listen. People don't want to explore living and dying. And when it happens to them, the shock is overwhelming. death is not a way out. It just seems like it for people who feel incredibly helpless and incredibly stuck, and like there is no other option. It isn't weak. It takes courage. And it takes courage to stick around too. It's down to personal choice. And has that person got anyone who'll listen? Who'll actually listen instead of preaching? And as a mum, I've been going through this for 9 years now. And as a mother, I find it so difficult not to preach. And I find it so difficult to listen and just keep my heart open and be present. And I do the best I can without getting caught up. And I try not to get angry at the people that don't listen, or the system that's failing our children and our peers. In fact, society itself, because people can't seem to get the help or the health care that they need. It's like compassion in the health care system, not just in the UK, but all around the world, is lacking. There are things and people and places trying to put things into place to improve that. Geodome Halifax does an amazing thing with the Upaya Zen Centre, where they really try and bring compassion into caring for the patients. They do a lot of work at Johns Hopkins University on this kind of thing, and it really does change the lives of the people working in the hospital and the lives of the people receiving the care when they add compassion, when they take time to pause, when they take time to listen, when they stop seeing things as a medical process and start remembering that in there, behind all that suffering, is another human being. Now, when we as humans are experiencing incredible suffering and we haven't got an outlet for our suffering, it hurts beyond measure, and there are no words to describe the pain that we're feeling. And these things can lead us to looking for solutions and quick fixes, and it leads to addictions and pain and more pain, and being in that bad habit circuit where we're doing things for quick fixes to try and just numb the misery and take the shit away, because we don't need it. No one needs it. No one needs the bullshit that people have to suffer with and from. But until we learn to listen and meet each other exactly where we're at in the moment, it will continue. Now, as a human being who's been in a position where I've wanted to take my own life, I can honestly say that there is hope, there is possibilities, there's opportunities, there's ways which we can change things, take our own power back and move forward into a new way of being. It's possible. I've done it. But that doesn't mean it was easy. And it isn't easy. And it isn't easy sitting with the pain, but at least when we're in such pain, at least it's a kind of there's some form of comfort in that familiar ground of pain and suffering, because it's what we're used to, and what we're used to can feel safe. So I want to encourage you, if you take anything from this video today, to to really take time to listen to people and take time to let people know that you care, and not talk down to them and not preach and not say, well, I was there once and this is, you know, I got myself out of it, because it's not the fucking same. It isn't the fucking same. Each person suffers in their own way, and each suffering is completely unique to each one of us. Our pain, our suffering, our stories, how we got there, how we've had to carry it ever since. It's all there. It's all so unique, such an individual pathway, and it's such an individual route to get out of it. Such an individual route for finding our truth and finding our freedom and freeing ourselves from the complete and utter craziness that was and is and still affects us most of the time today. I'm going to leave you on that note and finish this walk, but please just take time to be present and keep working on yourselves and be kind to yourselves, because that's what we need to be able to survive and get through another day.